and better in after the next election.
Own your rhythm, feel secure, and move through life with Abina's super absorbent disposable underwear, designed with urinary challenges in mind, providing maximum protection, comfort, and control, because nobody needs to know but you. Abina super absorbent disposable underwear, available at Independent Living, free samples in store, delivery island-wide. Rising above physical challenges, we can help you do it.
Need to estimate your duty? Perform a track and trace? Search for a declaration?
Then download the Jamaica Customs mobile app today. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
12 p.m.
Oh, I think that I found myself a cheerleader. She is always right there when I need her. Oh, me! See It Happen on CVMTV. I'm out.
Need to estimate your duty? Perform a track and trace? Search for a declaration?
Then download the Jamaica Customs mobile app today. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
12 p.m.
The Reggae Boys' road to FIFA World Cup qualification intensifies this September. On Tuesday, September 9, the National Stadium comes alive when the Reggae Boys battle arch rivals Trinidad and Tobago, starting at 7 p.m. Gates open at 4 p.m. Tickets VIP $10,000, grandstand $7,000, bleachers $2,000. Get yours now at jff.quaped.com. All the way, one team. Presented by the Jamaica Football Federation. Sponsors Adidas, Ray & Nephew, Sunshine Snacks, Water, Powerade, St. Mary's, True Shake, Stewart's, and Just Bet.
Being told if you with them, I gone with them till then sick. Say them I go box and thump and kick.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVMTV.
So much more than entertainment.
Hey everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
Odyssey with Yendi, brought to you by Grace, Singer, and IslandNet Services.
Turbulence to feel.
Thanks for joining us for CVM News at noon for Thursday, September 4, 2025. I'm Amoy Harriet. The Jamaica Labour Party is set to form government for a third consecutive term after a close 34-29 victory in Wednesday's polls. Reacting to the victory, JP leader and Prime Minister-designate Dr. Andrew Holness told supporters his party ran a better campaign based on performance.
I want to thank them personally. I mean, you know, a political campaign, sometimes, you know, when they see the personalities, they forget that they are human beings with feelings and emotions and they can be objectified. It's very difficult, but I want to thank my family here and abroad and all over who have withstood a tremendous onslaught, but they never gave up on me or on the people of Jamaica.
Meanwhile, Dr. Holness says victory was not an easy one. In fact, it was the toughest for him personally, which also tested what he described as the best political team in the Caribbean. He went on to expound on why.
No mistake about it. This was a fight. But we did not descend my political organization. We did not descend to the gutter to fight. We did not seek to trick the people to win. We did not seek to tear down anyone to lift up ourselves. We did not seek to tear down Jamaica in order to be able to administer the affairs of Jamaicans. We ran a clean, disciplined, focused, well-organized campaign. And we proved that we can run a decent campaign and win. And that is how Jamaica has won.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
And going forward, Dr. Holness says the government will place renewed focus on ensuring equal opportunities for all citizens. He emphasized that the delivery of basic public services will be prioritized at an even greater level in this new term.
This government, in our third term, must be laser focused on ensuring that there is prosperity for all Jamaicans. And just to be clear, prosperity doesn't mean riches. For some people, prosperity means peace. They want to live in peace. For some people, prosperity may mean their children getting to university. For some people, prosperity is a car. For others, it is a house. But for most people, it is the road fixed in their community and water in their pipes. And so, we must be focused on delivering these basic public services, which means prosperity for so many. But Jamaica is more than that. Jamaica is a potential to be realized. And for decades, we have underperformed. The story of Jamaica is that we have done so much as a country, but we could have done so much more.
Alive and well, how the People's National Party is responding after Wednesday's general election defeat. BNP President Mark Golding addressed supporters at the party's headquarters Wednesday night as he conceded the election result. Mr. Golding also congratulated the JLP.
Jamaica's democracy is important. We must cherish it. Sometimes it brings bitter disappointments. And I accept the result of these elections, and although obviously I'm very disappointed in the outcome, I think it is only correct to expressly acknowledge the success that our opponents have managed to gain today.
Meanwhile, Mr. Golding says the work starts now to prepare the party to face electors at the next general election. He also highlighted what he described as solid plans put forward by his party.
It was a truly progressive platform, a platform that offered a radical reform to the land tenure issues that have plagued this country for centuries. A radical platform that would have enhanced the standard of living and quality of life of those working families that are struggling to survive now by giving them significantly lower tax burdens on their income. Progressive in a social justice sense as well, around issues such as beach reform, contract work, and other things which really need to be addressed because there are injustices in our society which cannot be tolerated and should be modified and rejected. It was a truly progressive platform, a platform that offered a radical reform to the land tenure issues that have plagued this country for centuries. A radical platform that would have enhanced the standard of living and quality of life of those working families that are struggling to survive now by giving them significantly lower tax burdens on their income. Progressive in a social justice sense as well, around issues such as beach reform, contract work, and other things which really need to be addressed because there are injustices in our society which cannot be tolerated and should be modified and rejected in their current form. So I just want to thank all of the team that came together and developed those ideas and put them.
Now, former Director of Elections Orit Fisher is taking the Electoral Commission of Jamaica (ECJ) to task over several issues that arose during Wednesday's voting. Mr. Fisher pointed to the long lines at polling stations and what he described as inadequate care for elderly voters, stressing that the ECJ must conduct a thorough reassessment of its procedures. He was speaking Wednesday night on CVM's Decision 2025 Election Watch.
Most people would be unaware that in 2011 and 2016, those were the two highest voter turnout in the history of the country, 2011 and 2016. But the percentages did not reflect that because since continuous registration, the removal of, remember when they had regular enumeration, each time it was a new list. So if 500,000 persons were registered, those 500,000 persons were available to vote, so to speak. But now, since continuous enumeration, a number of persons who have migrated and who would have died and so on would have not been removed from the list. And therefore, that's another thing that the ECJ will have to look at, how to have those persons removed from the list, whether it's a full re-enumeration or some verification.
Now, for the local government by-elections that also happened on Wednesday, the JLP won all three electoral divisions: Chancery Hall in St. Andrew Northwestern, Olympic Gardens in St. Andrew West Central, and Denham Town in Kingston Western. The overall preliminary turnout for the by-elections is approximately 36.1%. Now, the final counting of ballots will commence today, September 4. Now, at designated counting centers, each returning officer will count all the ballots cast for the constituency in the presence of the candidates and/or their representatives. Now, consequently, the final count takes a longer period to complete than the preliminary count. And we now head to a quick break, but stay with us. More when we come back.
We're here to tell you about the never-before-seen competition airing on Lewis Industrial's YouTube channel.
That's right, that's LIG's Master Mechanic Competition, where 6 teams will compete for a cash prize of 500,000 Jamaican dollars and the title of LIG's Master Mechanic. Subscribe to Lewis Industrial on YouTube and catch each episode every Saturday at 8 p.m.
The first episode drops in August.
So don't try to miss it, you hear?
Need to pass your CSET CAPE exams to get that dream job or to qualify for university? Then Distinction College is the school for you. We have locations in Kingston, Spanish Town, St. Elizabeth and Ocho Rios. Start day, evening and Saturday classes this coming term and sit CSET CAPE exams for January's resit or May-June. Maths, law, science, English. We have the lowest school fees. Register before the end of the month and win an entire term free. Call us at 354-8560.
Welcome back to CVM News at noon. Now, the JLP is set to form government for a third consecutive term after a victory at the polls on Wednesday. But the makeup of parliament will be different, with the PNP more than doubling its seats in Gordon House. Joining us now to look at the issues coming out of the election results is Social Development Specialist Dr. Peter Ann Baker. Welcome, Dr. Baker.
Thanks. Hi.
So we saw where the JLP secured 34 seats and the PNP 29 seats. How will this close result impact parliamentary proceedings?
Well, I think I'm hoping that, you know, having that a different kind of result where no single party is really dominant. Yes, you have a party with more seats and therefore which forms the government, but you also have an opposition. But I think we will need a real change in the culture of the way Parliament conducts itself and the way the two parties conduct themselves. So the role of an opposition is not to oppose. And it has to find a means of constructive engagement. And that is not only the obligation of the opposition. If the party which is now constitutes the government, it needs to get rid of the idea that it is the ruling party. I think that's a problem. We call the party which is the majority the ruling party, and we have a culture that puts some very bad behavioral things in those words, and we're not good at, you know, collaboration. We're worse at challenge and critique. And so my hope is that both parties will see this as an opportunity to change the way they do business with each other. An increase. We talk about that so-called low voter turnout. I think Emily Shields is challenging us to rethink that idea as well. But you know, people are tired of the constant cascas. We can't use social media and mass meetings to inform how we conduct the nation's business. We are capable of being thorough, of being able to find agreement, of being able to state our disagreements without being hostile or rude or abrasive. So that's what I would like to see. Okay, yes, there is a party which has a majority of seats. It has a relatively small majority, but it is a majority because Westminster's system says first past the post. Yeah? So until we decide whether or not we want to keep or change that, we need to find a way to transact our business in a better way for the politicians who now sit as members of parliament or will are supposed to be there representing the people. And yes, we like to make noise, but we also like to have fun, and we are capable of sitting down and working hard and having an intelligent conversation in which we put our respective points. We don't hug them up to our chest because it's not your idea, it's not your proposals, it is the people. And they have to learn to listen to each other. And we need to get rid of this cascas business because it is wearying and it is turning people off of engaging with the political process.
So Dr. Baker, you said the low voter turnout. What do you mean by we need to challenge that idea? In your opinion, what does that look like?
Well, I see Emily Shields doing some serious mathematics and historical herself, and I think someone else I saw, and they were doing a historical review of the number of persons who voted in successive elections, I think since 1944 or something. And the percentages have been basically in the 30, 40, I don't even recall if they found one that made it to 50%. Now, one of the issues I know that has been identified out of that is that it is possible that the current voters list especially, but in increasing ways over the last 3 or 4 elections, the voters list is in fact bloated, inflated. I was enumerated in 1997. Yes, my name is still on the voters list. Thank God I'm still alive and I'm living in Jamaica and so on and so forth. But there are others who are not in the similar situation. And the electoral office needs to, and the commission on which the two parties sit, but I hope the independent members will exert themselves strenuously. They have to take a look. I said to myself in the last 2 days, what is the budget for the electoral office? Does it actually have adequate resources to carry out this awesome job that it has? And the job becomes more and more complex. It's not that, okay, George